Sup. I'm alive again. Hey, I'm back, and I have good news to the two people that might be watching. Um, I figured out an interesting quirk about one of my favorite effects. That is, sup. I'm alive again. The CC glass effect is a very cool effect. Let me prove this to you. It's a really cool effect because it is basically a displacement map. Those displacement maps, maybe you're aware of them, are a way of like distorting one layer based on the brightness values or alpha values of another layer, and you can get really cool, realistic, bump. They call it bump map in 3D, but a bump. And so I'm trying to make this pie look like it has words and slices cut into it. Instead of using a displacement map, I use the CC glass effect. Because the CC glass effect, unlike plain old displacement map, comes with cool shading effects and lighting effects just built in. So you can make things look bumped even better, I think. And in this case, I put the CC glass effect on an adjustment layer so it will hit everything underneath in case I want the pie to be made out of more than one thing. It's referencing this other composition called work. I should have named it something more detailed, but it's basically a composition that has work, art, and these lines. I'm making a life pie, a time life pie for a video coming up. And where am I? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that there was an issue. I tried to show you guys how I was working on this in another live just a second ago, and there was an issue where you can see that the white areas that this glass effect should be distorting things, it's going beyond that area and it's distorting things outside of the mat that it's referencing. And I couldn't figure out why. I put masks on it inside, right? It's cut off on the inside. I put masks on the outside. I pre-composed this. I wrapped everything to the best of my ability to try and figure out why it wasn't honoring these masks or mats that I had. And I finally figured out that the reason this is happening is that I had my glass effect set to reference the correct layer, include masks correct, but it was referencing lightness. And I didn't think that was going to be a problem because the inside has white and what looks like black, and it was going to make it bumped in where it was white and not bumped where it was black. But this doesn't actually have a black background. It has no background. And that's not the same thing, unfortunately. Even though it looks black, After Effects reads nothing, 0 alpha, as having some amount of lightness. It's got like a default value of 100, so it actually sees it, whether or not that background is white or nothing, it still sees it as white. That's the problem. There's two ways to solve this. I could have actually made one simple solution is just to put a black solid behind everything. Doesn't look different to our eyes now. When I turn the displacement map on, turn the transparency grid back on, it is different. And if I come back here, it should, well, the problem being the way I did it is not cool. Anyway, if I pre-composed all this and then left the background black, then even with the transparency grid on, there's nothing back there, and this should work. Bam, it works. So that's one way to solve it. The correct way to solve this, though, is to just, rather than have it reference the lightness, I broke some things here. Rather than have it reference the lightness, just have it reference in the main composition, have it reference the alpha channel. Duh. That's the easiest way to solve this problem. Okay. Man, I thought I was going to have to get up into forums and then have a bunch of people in forums get mad at me. for not providing enough information and then going back and forth like that forever. Forms are great, not always the final solution. But anyway, it's pretty realistic after all these adjustment layers. Got some like jelly inside. That's what I love about CC glass, is you can get like all kinds of cool textures and lighting. Anyway, pretty cool. So I am going to continue just goofing around. This is a test. All of this is just a test for a project that I'm going to make. Oh, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. So I'm trying to shove a whole bunch of concepts into this pie. One thing I'm trying to shove into the concept of this pie, one thing I'm trying to shove into this pie concept is a zoetrope. I don't know how many folks know about zoetropes, but it's basically a really old animation tool. That was one of the first ways people animated things. It's just like a bunch of pictures that spin, and then there's slots that only allow you to see those pictures at certain times, and that creates persistence of vision and makes it look like the things are animating rather than quickly changing. But in the end, it's a... Actually, I can't show you guys a zoetrope right now. You can look up a zoetrope. It's like ZOETROPE. Anyway, trying to get a zoetrope effect with this pie. And then I'm also trying to actually show segments of my life in the pie, because the pie slice will lift up. And there's my life. It'll all make sense one day. I'm currently talking to no one, but that's how streams are, aren't they? Isn't that what a stream is for most of it? Anyway. I'm still new to streaming in general. But let's see if this looks cool. Oh, you bastard. Those lines came back for a second. Oh, I think I know why. The pie should not have... Use me up. What's going on? What is going on is this is probably changing in opacity. Yes, it is. Stop doing that. There we go. Cute. Okay. This is hideous. Things start hideous. This is not what work looks like. That is what sleeping looks like. I love the sounds After Effects makes when it's rendering. See, here's the thing. This is simple to understand, but it doesn't look like a zoetrope. Let's actually share a zoetrope, because I need to look at a zoetrope myself. See if I spelled it right. Ah, I did. Sick. I can spell. How cool is that? So there's a few different ways that you can make a zoetrope. Let's just go to good old-fashioned Wikipedia here. But yeah, if you haven't seen a zoetrope before, it's basically it's a really clever thing where the slices spin because the whole thing spins. So that creates a shutter, and then the pictures inside also spin, which is basically like flipping a flip book. There's other ways that people could do it, simple ways, but the idea is just basically it's a spinning thing. How how closely do I want to actually have my pie zoetrope reference or seem like a real one? I don't know. So this was a thought. Another way to do it was they like actually have things that look like they can't spin. I don't want the pictures to spin because then you wouldn't be able to see what the hell's going on. I want it to seem like you're watching a zoetrope. I know this is so much. It's everything. Everything too much. It's too much. And I'm always doing too much with my videos. I need to just use the right amount. Brainstorming. I know this is so much. It's everything. I don't think anyone is watching. Watching. Hello, people. What do we do? What's a good way to... get this to look kind of like a zoetrope. This looks more like... The other idea is to sort of suggest a clock. Doesn't have to be a zoetrope, Alex. Maybe not enough people know about zoetropes. I just think that if it's spinning, people are gonna be like, why is it spinning?
Enough of the creative stuff I really like to make. It seems like not enough of the creative.
Maybe the pie, maybe like something could be spinning on the pie. Okay. This is why I like using Zoom. Call me an old tech weirdo, but I feel like this is something I couldn't even do without Zoom. It's like just doodle on the screen. So like, what if I, before everything comes out, what if spinning on the, let's not use yellow, let's use black. What if spinning on here was like some sort of markations for like day and night? You know, what if, see, some part spins. That's gonna be very confusing though to the eye because these slices don't spin. I'm getting a telephone call from spam. Nice. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this to look like a zoetrope, I have important information like the slices of my life not spinning, because then they'd be impossible to read or watch, but have the spinning suggest time. I mean, right, clocks don't spin. That's another thing about clocks. The hands spin. But if we equate hands to time or chunks of my life, then the clock spinning would make sense. But it wouldn't really. I'm trying to shove so much into one thing. Just gotta watch it over and over. It's the right way to do this.
Not enough of the creative stuff I really like to make, and it seems like.
So if I don't have that, and it's just,
For the creative stuff I really like to make.
let's turn off my stupid voice. Just watch it on loop. One of the cool things about working, I want to say iteratively because it sounds like a cool way to say it, but building the structure and effects without worrying about detail and then going back in and changing detail is that now if I go in here and I like want to add a slice, it's really easy. I just click on the slice layer and everything's already blocked off and stuff and already wiggled and everything because of all the adjustment layers. Anyway, let's call this life. I mean, I guess technically it's all my life. But anyway, see, isn't that cool? You just type the thing and now all of a sudden you have all the things. I just love that part of working this way. That jelly is so realistic from far away, at least. It's actually an apple pie. It should be green. Oh, speaking of which, I was thinking of like making oop. It just wiggles for a bit for some reason. What was that? Oh, because I'm not in the right comp. Oh, life. Freaking life. What's wrong with life? Why isn't it? Whatever. Feel free to ask questions if you're watching. Oh, one person. Nice. Down to one. Hello. Kind of want to make this look like because if you think about it, okay, let's just think about it. If you think about it, I'm gonna just draw my thoughts. How does your life and time work? I mean, that is sort of what happens. Is like you are on you are kind of shit. What am I trying to say? You're always in the moment. You were on the second hand let's say you're on the second hand of a clock. You're getting thrown through different times, right? You're getting tossed around. That could be a fun video, actually. You're getting tossed around time. But if we want to see me and not see me spinning around, then the clock would have to be spinning under me. That'd be a fun, like, remake of the running on the earth video I did. So, like, the clock is actually the treadmill. But this is the problem. Does this make sense if I'm trying? Man, this jazz is getting a little distracting. Royalty-free jazz, even smoother than smooth. But the problem is that, like, let's say I always work from whatever, 1 to 5. Not true, but let's say I always work from 1 to 5. I work way less than that. JK. I always work 1 to 5. I'm getting spun around through work. I mean, like, basically, like, do I just have the pie be a clock and the chunks stay put and aren't chunks, right? The other problem is the chunks are staying put, but the pie is spinning. It's not the problem. That was like my whole idea originally. I think I've run into another "this is not entertaining" thing. But this is another big part of the process. A lot of just sort of like thinking, wrapping my head around my own project. I mean, I also kind of like the lighting changing, but maybe not the pie spinning. Is that what I want? Or I can also just like change the frame rate of this video even lower to like 5 frames per second. It won't even really look like it's spinning, maybe. Curious what that'll... Whoa. What the frick? Very choppy. I think I like the lower frame rate. Like, does it need to... This whole section is going to be like 3 seconds long. I also kind of wanted the chunks to be different colors. The pie. Let's make an adjustment layer. Or let's just add a shape layer, maybe? No, I always like adjustment layers. Love me some adjustment layers. Let's make working green because I'm making money. Curves in HLS are my favorite way to quickly change things. Most important things. Ooh. Yeah, we don't want that. Let's just add green maybe. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a green pie. I mean, it would be cool if just the word work was green, because then you could tell the filling was green. But okay, so I am the pie, and I am getting spun through these different things. I'm okay with that concept. The pie is the second hand. The lines are the clock chunks. So it would be like, yeah, this is one through, or, 10 through 2, and then 2 to, right. So these are the chunks. And then the pie itself is the second hand that's sort of spinning around, going through these chunks. The confusing thing is that the chunks are also stuck or made out of pie. I think that's where visually people might not get what's going on. And then the question is, do they have to? Don't think so. Don't think they do. I think this is how I'll go with it in the end. I think it would be cool to somehow incorporate something time like notches or something. I could actually just put notches in the pie. That might be cute. But again, the pie is the second hand. Anyway, I'll just do that and then we'll pause the zoom because I'll just be thinking too much. How do I add some notches back here? I'm just gonna remember what the pie looks like. And add some, no, I'm not, because then they won't, but then maybe they will. Yeah, they'll work. It'll work. Trust me. Trust me. I'm going to make one notch. How do you make a radius of lines? Good question. This is a mini shape layer tutorial. I want this shape layer to go around a central point. I just go into contents, add repeater. And now I can have as many of these dashes as I want. And then in the transform section, I'm going to give them a rotation so that each one is rotating around a slightly different point. Or sorry, is rotating around a center point. But here's where things get really confusing. What is the center point that the repeater is centering around? Not the anchor point. In fact, it'll do this ridiculous spiral because of some complicated stuff we'll get into in a second. I'm also going to reduce the position differencing here. I mean, see, here's what's going on is I can change the position, the offset position to 0 on the transform repeater, and that seems to solve everything. But interestingly, if I actually double click and move the line that was drawn, it will stop. It's not going to like keep the radius accurate. It will. Basically, what's going on is it always centers around the middle of the layer. So even if I move this anchor point, you'll see it doesn't change the center radius of the repeater effect. And so if I go into contents repeater 1, transform repeater 1, that's not, changing this isn't going to help because it basically says each individual slice is recursively more pushed over. That's how you get weird spiral effects. Keep this at 0. What you can do, there's 2 ways to solve this, is you can go into the repeater and you can actually add it inside the shape before or after the fill, but before the transform property. And that way, if I do move my shape, it will still stay centered because the transform is happening after the repeater. Craziness. Another solution to this problem would be to just make sure that the transform properties under the contents for the shape are reset so there's no positioning. This is what throws people off a lot, so the shape layer is not actually quote unquote positioned at 0. Anyway, hit me up on my Patreon if you want to go deep into shape layers and how they work and repeaters and create cool motion graphics. But anyway, let's finish these dashes and get out of here. Maybe 12 would be a cute number. And then I have to figure out, whoa, gee, what's the angle of, what's 1/12 of 360? No, I am not that good at math. Transforming each doodad by 360 divided by 12. Shut up. First of all, why is that not working? Oh, because my degrees are not set to 12. Simple math. Come on, Alex, you can do this. 360 divided by 12 is 12 degrees. So if I have 12 of them at 12 degrees apart from each other, why is that not working? This is a fun challenge. Let's just make it work and then figure out what the answer is and why. It has to be 30. I'm working on hexagons, building a giant hexagon structure. Why is this not obvious to me? Each one of these is 30 degrees? What is 30 times 12? The fuck? 360 divided by 12? What did I do wrong? I'm gonna have to go back and zoom and watch this. Whatever. That makes sense. Great. Cool. I know some things. I don't know all the things. And this is a very clear I All right, moving my anchor point to the middle manually and stupidly, and then I made it 3D. And now I'm going to rotate it to hopefully go with the pie. Oh, isn't that cute? I'm going to move it around in 3D space. Oops. Let's do XZ maybe. A little more slant, I think. Yeah. And shrink it down. Cool. Okay. And then put it under all these adjustment layers. It should get all wiggly. Nice. And then I'm going to rotate it. Now here's the problem is that I gave it an orientation and now I want to give it a rotation and it's going to do some crazy, crazy stuff. So I shouldn't have done this on the orientation. I should have done it on the rotation. And now the Z is what I want. Yay, Z works. Cool. And I'm going to have it spin. I mean, there's like a notch in this pie that I was using as my example. So there's the notch. When does it come back? There it is. Eesh. Fine, there. So then this will go a full 360. And we'll have it adding alt click on the top watch, and I do loop out, cycle, and then we should be good. Oh my God, that's so cute. So, I mean, I feel like this will at least suggest to someone, whoa, why is it all dark and red? Oh, because it's got a blending mode of its own self on top of its own self. We don't need that. That's hella cute, but does it make any sense? It does also look a little bit more zoetropy. Is there too much going on now? Maybe if I get rid of all of these, or maybe I get rid of life, art, and work. It's crazy how much that mattered. My brain suddenly gets it. Just those slices. It just looks good too. It's like pie looking. But like, okay, so if now this is what's going on. What, see, I don't know if I want any digital stuff other than maybe the pie lifting off like that. Like that's cute. Why did it turn? Oh, because the pie lifting off doesn't have my green? It does have my green. Why are you not green, pie? Oh, because I added a stupid color correction thing. Anyway. I like this because it's almost like believable that I could have made like 10 pies and cut them so that they have slices and dashes. But could I have gotten the slices to be so uniform? Probably not. I think I need to add a wiggle to the lines that's like pretty significant. The main lines. These guys need a turbulent displace. Yeah. Maybe a little less. And we're gonna change the evolution to random or wiggle like crazy to like number of wiggles and then per second. We'll do 20 wiggles per second. I think it was 20 times per second is the problem. I did that backwards. It's been too long. 20 wiggles per second. Nope. Come on. What am I doing wrong? It's 20. Yeah. It's wiggles per second and how much it's changing by. And I'm forgetting which one goes first. It's really been too long. So this is either going to wiggle 120 times per second, only 20. Let's do 5 times per second and wiggle by 200. There we go. That's what I wanted. Let's wiggle 15 times a second. So many wiggles. And then we'll back out and see if this makes it a little more realistic. Like it was, I want to give this whole thing a stop motion animation vibe. Like I could have maybe, yay, that's way better. I could have maybe cut the pie to look like a stop motion animation pie. That is so much better. Now I have to pick up one of these slices somehow. That's going to be freaking nuts. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I have to just pick it up really quickly. I guess I think what if I bring the words back, but I also wiggle them hella amounts, then we might be in business. I'm going to just take that turbulent displace off of the lines and add it to an adjustment, my adjustment layer. But should everything wiggle that much? Maybe they should. Yeah, because no one's going to be that good at cutting pie. I know this doesn't look actually real, but it could. Also, maybe I shouldn't use Comic Sans. Maybe I should use some sort of. That's so cute though. That like kind of looks real. And I didn't actually have to do it. Mad respect for practical effects, guys. Mad respect. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with this. Wow. There were some real lulls. If anyone watches this in the future, there's some real lulls, as you may have been aware. In terms of whether this video was entertaining or useful. But I think we got our way all the way to a good stopping point. And this was, as I said, this was all just a test. That's so cute. I'm happy. Oh, you know what would be even niftier, maybe? What if yeah, this is literally how my brain always works. It's like, I think I'm done. I think I made it work. Great. I'm happy. But how could I be unhappy? I'm very good at being unhappy with whatever I'm doing, which I guess is how you improve, maybe sort of. All right. So if I take the vertical slices comp and I put it inside of this one, hear me out, hear me out. And I put it under these guys. Let's just do this for a second. So this is like the guts of the pie. these slices, I want it to seem like these slices are kind of always spinning inside the pie. Um, and then just sort of lining up with your vision like a zoetrope would. But let's see if this works at all or makes any sense. What is this going to look like? Okay, so that doesn't do anything because everything is being blocked. But if I make these guys have a blending mode of, let's say, soft light. Whoa. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so, oh, that's like the crust coming off. Is that something I like? Oh, that's a whole nother concept. Hold on. I don't like that. I think luckily I can just say it. I don't like that. But I do like the idea of the vertical slices lining up and then, okay. Hold your horses. We're going to get rid of some of these guys. Hey, you can see what I'm like when I'm actually excited about something. Okay, and then I don't need these guys. Yeah, so there's like a sense of slices, sort of. Can you like see through and see that there's slices in there and you get a bit of a zoetrope effect? Kind of like that. I kind of like that. It'd be cool if each of these slices had a wiggly gelatinous filling on it. Am I going to do that right now? I'm just going to half-ass do it right now. I'm going to give them a stroke and a size and maybe not such a stupid color. Oh, they're intersecting in weird ways. What's up with that? Is that just 3D-ness going on? But now they have layer styles, so of course 3D-ness doesn't count when you're doing layer styles. It cuts away 3D-ness layer styles takes precedence in terms of layer ordering and therefore blending modes. So I actually had to bring them to the top layer, even though they're 3D. Yes. I'm finally getting into the flow here. It's just problems all through the first section. All right, let's get a good jello, good gelatinousness going on here. Good filling. Actually, it's supposed to be a green apple filling, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. But then no, everything gets color shifted later, so forget that. Let's just leave it red. I'm so indecisive about the color of this jello. Just pick something, Alex, and move on. Fine. I shifted the color almost not at all. Really what I should be doing, guys. What am I doing? This is also something I always do is I'll just do something rough and then just get mad at how rough it is immediately and be like, I should do this the right way. But here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-compose the original video, go in there, find the original video, and then give it, oh, maybe I'll expand the composition just a bit. Give it a wiggly jello edge. Well, how am I going to do this? What is the stupidest way to do this possible? Just make a shape layer. Thicken it up. Make it my red. Hey, 2 people are watching. Hello, people. How's it going? I'm going to add a roughen edges to this line. That'll give it, there we go, instant gelatinousness, but I want to give it some 3D gelatinousness. I'll probably just do like, what am I going to do? Turbulent noise on that guy. And set it to blending mode is here. We'll do like an add. Turn the contrast way up. There we go. Brightness down. There we go. That's our adorable jello. And we're going to do, because I'm so in love with the CC glass effect, we're going to try something real quick. We're going to turn turbulent noise off on this lower one. We're going to pre-compose this upper one, and then we're going to see if we can do something cuter with the CC glass effect on this lower one that references the upper one. Hey, look at that, guys. Look at that. I fucking love CC glass. And this is working because, whoa, not so much displacement. We don't need any displacement, actually, because there's nothing to displace. But I'm going to turn the softness up and the height. There we go. That's our frickin' jello filling. And then I'll add a layer style on top of all that. Bevel and emboss. And I will change it to be bigger. And I always like the color dodge blending mode. Yes, 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 yes. There. What have I created? I've created a pie video slice frame. And now one of them is going to be cool. And I just have to go in here and I have to replace the others with this betterly named one called Time is So Frustrating Comp 1. Really well named, guys. Always name your layers well. And now we've got them all as strange, fleshy videos, which is awesome. Their anchor points could be more good, like this. Very nice. And then I guess they can all scale horizontally. Whoop. Let's just horizontal, horizontal, horizontal only. Yes, there we go. Let's see how this looks. Hey, not super duper crazy terrible, just medium terrible. Totally good for a test. I wouldn't say even like a test. It's just like good enough to keep going. Good enough to be like, I'll fix that later. That's usually my vibe. Good enough to be like, I'll fix that later. And then sometimes I actually do. Sometimes I don't, and that's good. The more things you can just forget about, the better. Okay. What is this? What is this? What the fuck is this? That's what I'm asking myself right now. Does this look like a time pi zoetrope of my life? Which also represents how my life is segmented. I think the answer is kind of yes. One last thing, though, is that a zoetrope, the frames don't line up perfectly every time. So the slices themselves should be jittering slightly. And I just, whenever you've got something that's made out of a many layer cake, uh, you want to, and you want all of the pieces to do the same thing, you go to, oh, nope. Ah, hey, After Effects 2.0, we use, I just tried to parent the layer to the shape layer to the video and did a track matte. And I'm sure everyone in After Effects is doing that all the time now because they added track matte pick whip recently, which I talk about in my video on Patreon. Oh, what's going on with my Jello? Why is my Jello not looking cool? What is going on with my cool Jello? Is this a time thing? No. Just the old undo. I like my Jello. I like my Jello. I don't like my Jello. Oh, because I moved. Right. Right. I just have to pre-compose all this because there's mats that are referencing each other. So anyway, that also solves my parenting problem. So position, we're going to wiggle again. Tab, quote. How many times per second? 15 again. How much? 20? Is that going to be too insane? I mean, also the posterized time effect, which is on top of everything, is going to, no quotes, is going to iron out a lot of that is insane. It's going to iron out a lot of the insanity, the fact that everything has a posterized time effect on it in the end, which makes it more like a flip book. Great. So that's a wiggle frame from a zoetrope of my face in a pie. So now they're all going to be wiggling. Oh, but Alex, we don't want them to be wiggling uniformly, you jerk. So I'm going to extract that and put that on each one of these. Am I? No. Oh, I have to copy whatever. I'm just going to do this. Wiggle 1580, was it? Something like that. So now one of them will wiggle. Oh my God. It's wiggling in 3D, which is cool. I like that. Maybe not so far. Maybe like 60. I don't hate it though. I really do want it to be wiggling around a bit. And I don't want to copy the expression of or the position of all these. Do I? Will that fuck things up? I think it won't. It doesn't. Anyway, yes, yes. Because I don't know. Let's see if this helps add to the animated quality or if it just looks insane. Yes, so I know exactly what I'm doing wrong here. Is that they shouldn't be jiggling in space. They should be jiggling in rotation. Oy vey, where am I? Undo, undo, undo. And let's undo a lot of things, actually. Let's undo the pre-composing of all this stuff. Eh? Yes. Let's go back to rotation. And we're going to wiggle on the Y. Actually, on the Y-axis, wiggle. Hey, 4 people watching. Oh, hey. Hey, Nick. Thanks. Nick is an amazing animator. Go check him out. You joined at a more entertaining part. I hope you didn't watch the beginning. Uh, this is me making a prototype lifetime pie. I don't want to wiggle 40 degrees. That would be crazy. Maybe like 5 degrees. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. And we can't copy the rotation because that'll screw everything up. So we're just gonna copy expression only. And then, whoop, people are leaving my house. I live in a house. There are people. There we go. There we go. That's what we want. So now when we go back to the main lifetime pie, it will kind of maybe look more like a zoetrope. I like it enough to keep going and say I'll fix it later, or enough to work on it now. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. I fucking like it because it's like if you know what a zoetrope is, you'll kind of maybe vaguely get that that's what I'm going for. And if you don't, you'll just get that this is a pie of my life and also that time is sort of involved. Yay. All right. I'm happy. Thank you for watching. And if you have questions, you have 2 seconds to ask them. Uh, yeah. Anyway, this was fun. Very fun. I should do more of these. I get really discouraged when I run into problems and feel like it's not entertaining, but then we get over the problems and then it gets entertaining eventually. Maybe something good to leave on your background or something. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I could use encouragement if you want to see more of these. But anyway, uh, I gotta go film stuff. I gotta go work on the rest of this video. So good, good hanging. Thanks for hanging out. Over and out. And yeah, ask me anything questions you have in the Patreon, and I will chat with you there in the Discord. And I also do live one-on-one help. So if you have any questions with your project and you want me to aim my expertise at your monitor and help you out, feel free to hit me up through Patreon there as well. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. I'm also working on a dress in the background there. That's what all that is.